So in this video, we're looking at the markets, and today and yesterday, they are not looking that great. The primary reason is the macro, because the situation, politically speaking, is looking pretty shaky with the new jobs data, and there's more data coming on Friday, so that might give you more volatility in the markets as well. Plus we have Trump inauguration on the 20th, so you can expect even more volatility. Of course, it can go both ways. Nothing here is financial advice. Crypto is risky, so have that in mind. We're going to have a look at a bunch of categories as well as the majors, but basically we see a lot of recent movements going down, especially on things like Ethereum. If you look for the past 7 days, we had this big dip just before the Christmas, right on like the 20th of December. That was the lowest, with $3,100 for one single Ethereum. Right now we're closing on the same range. It was looking good with closing to 4,000, but then we got back to 3,300. And the second thing is, of course, Solana also gave away a lot of its recent movement, going below $200. And if you look at the past 7 days, pretty much the same scenario. So we got at the lowest, that was like 176 or something, and it was above $200, 220 just a day ago. So this is pretty crazy. Of course, Bitcoin is doing much better here, much more stable, but it also went slightly above 100K and then back to 95K altogether. So this is pretty much getting to the lowest of 30 which was on the 31st of December with 92,000. So also for this major coin, we're seeing some retracement. Altogether, this also means that some of the alts are going back to their previous highs, to the previous prices before the highs, but also you have new categories. So of course, the most interesting category right now is the general category of AI memes. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening over there, so we're going to have a look at that. Artificial intelligence, of course, you have different major projects like Near Protocol, Render, BitTensor DAO, Virtuals, of course, that's seen a little bit of retracement. Virtuals is probably the hottest here, just hit all-time high. I think that was like a couple of days ago. Yeah, I think it was close to it was even over $5, so $5 billion market cap. That was the price for Virtuals just a couple of days ago. Right now, it retraced basically like 30% altogether, 10% just in the last 24 hours. So that's pretty crazy. But if you're looking for an entry, that might be a good way to start. Of course, at this stage, we don't know whether that will keep on falling. A lot of depends on the macro and how Bitcoin will behave, because for now, Bitcoin definitely drives the price. However, there are a lot of smaller coins that are giving very interesting things. So for example, if you go for AI agents category here, you of course have this large protocols like Virtual and Fed, but then you get much smaller agents. The most popular one, I think, is at least on Twitter, is AXBT, which basically tweets about particular coins movements, all the data. Very interesting. If you don't follow that on Twitter, definitely recommend going with AIXBT and checking out. You don't have to buy the token in order to appreciate the information you get on Twitter. So that's already pretty cool one. There's of course a pretty much price retracement. So if you're looking for an entry, that might be a good spot, or maybe this will keep on falling even more. So check and be careful out there within the market. Some of the coins looks pretty nice. So we have a lot of things happening with Paul recently. Swarms also looking pretty nice. There are many different coins that are not doing that good, or maybe they're just pretty stable, like AGI here with the Elysium. So there are many interesting things happening, many new coins as well appearing. I already mentioned in my previous live stream as well as the video that I, for example, like very much Vader. Right now, it's basically 40% down on the 7 days period. So that might be a good entry if you're looking for this particular agent. Of course, this is a pretty crazy moment, because nobody knows whether this will get a bull market going into, say, Q2, Q3, whether the bull market will end by the end of this year, by the beginning of the next year. That's probably the most bullish scenarios. or whether we're really going to get hit by a train pretty soon, because that can also happen very soon. For example, with people being a little bit discouraged by the general politics, already by the fact that the bull market is here for the past year. And there are many different macro scenarios that can happen as well, with inflation, stagflation in the US, that getting to Europe as well. There are many different things that can happen on the macro level that will bring down Bitcoin, and in effect will also bring down different AI coins. Of course, on the general side, if you're investing in a particular small coins, there are always new opportunities. Every day you have new stuff appearing. This is what I cover on my Discord channel or my Telegram. If you want to join them, the links will be down below in the description. Now, for the majors, as you can see, we got a little bit of the red light, especially in the last 24 hours. If you categorize that by the last 24 hours, then basically the only coins in the with the significant gains in the 24-hour period is SPX 6,900, which is pretty funny. But apart from that, you basically have stable coins on top, which is never a good sign, and always means that you have pretty red market in general. So we're going to see what happens. I'm here buying myself a little bit, at least bidding on exchanges, on perps with a small leverage, very small leverage, to be careful. Some Ethereum as well as some FTM. I like Ethereum even though it doesn't perform that well recently, but FTM is pretty cool coin, especially with the recent Sonic upgrade that came around. You have that. I think it's a pretty good price right now. You can see that here, being currently at around 67 cents, and just a couple of days ago, well, at least one maybe at the top, that was around $1 and above. So you can basically go to, well, maybe I didn't want to go with that. I wanted to show you price before that, but basically FTM reached something like $1.4. So that was already pretty cool, and then it got down like 60%. So let's see how it goes. Very interesting things happening. Of course, if you're trading meme coins, I recommend going with Bullex platform, which I tend to cover a lot. There's a lot of developments in my portfolio, the one that I covered. As you can see, they're all together. Even though it's a red day, we're still in profit. Pretty cool one. Basically, what saved us here is a lot of profit on Citadel going from Griffin. That's basically like a 10x. I put pretty small size with $200, but that's already $1,300 of PNL right now. Some of the coins got down, some of them are holding pretty well. So altogether, I think this category, AI agents and AI launchpods, are doing pretty well, and they probably will do pretty well at least until the end of the market. If you like to understand what I'm having here, go to my previous video where I talk about the particular projects here one by one. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.